The 2012 election is in full swing, and so is the fundraising. President Barack Obama was in Los Angeles this week, raising some serious cash from his Hollywood supporters. Black Hollywood was a huge backer of Obama in 2008, with money, support, endorsements also hitting the campaign trail. But what about this time? With me to discuss just how the president is perceived here in Hollywood are a number of great people. First off, Lou Gossett Jr., Academy Award winner. Lamman Rucker, Tatyana Ali, and Keisha Knight-Pulliam. Folks, how we doing?
Fantastic.
All right, love it. First of all, let me start off this way. It's been interesting reading some of the comments from other folks. Let's say Matt Damon has been highly critical of President Obama, saying that he hasn't been tough enough, he hasn't stepped up to the plate. And so when you hear these criticisms, what do you think? And also, what's your assessment of the job the president has done thus far in the past 4 years?
I think he's done a monumental job. I think the least of it is him being black. I think he's our president, right? He's upset some black people because they didn't have programs for them. But he has been the president for the entire country. And now his record is beginning to show because unemployment is down, Wall Street's up, Detroit's waking up, all his promises. And he inherited a problem with a deficit, and he's doing beautiful. This next 4 years would put him in history books.
Well, he's already saying he's getting elected.
Oh, yeah.
Right,
Oh, yeah.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
I think you touched on some really important points. You know, President Obama was given a job that could not be done in the time frame that has passed. He needs extra time, not because he hasn't done his job thus far, but because the problems that he inherited were so great. You know, I'm a very big, avid, Obama supporter. I went to the Women for Obama luncheon where Michelle Obama spoke the week before last, and I'm working with the campaign on college campuses, and I feel like, I think a lot of people recognize that, there's still work to be done, and he's the person to do the job.
The next generation, young folks, huge part of his platform in terms of his support in 2008. Yet we've seen young folks not particularly happy with the job the president has done when you look at some poll numbers. I speak on college campuses all across the country, and when I would say President Barack Obama in 2009, huge response. In 2010, pretty good response. In 2011, okay. And so it's real interesting. So I can always tell by applause levels how folks are feeling at the time.
I think I worked on the campaign last.
Yes, because you were in my book,
season.
The First. Yes, you
yes,
were.
and I spoke on a lot of college campuses, and there's an idealism that Obama's message really hit on that spoke to young people, and I think the reality of what he was confronted with is a very different thing. I'm really excited to see, and I'm speaking it into existence. I think we all are. I mean, absolutely. Mitt Romney, I don't even...
Who?
Yeah, exactly. So that can't happen. But I'm excited to see this second term because that's the real freedom.
Absolutely.
There's no, this is the second term, it's the last term, you don't have to worry about re-election. You can really go for broke, which is incredible because in this first term he has gone for broke. Healthcare, the economy is now making this upturn, and hopefully no one's going to want to see a switch while things are finally going upward.
I think that's what's key. I mean, you talk about the the younger demographic and the younger generation, which includes us. And
Luke said, me too.
But I think in saying that, I think this idealism is actually a really the perfect word. And unfortunately, based on that youth, sometimes you can be very short-sighted. I don't think you really understand the long-term ramifications and how long it actually takes something to evolve into what it's supposed to be. So I think once that starts to be evident, there's going to be a greater appreciation for this last 4 years and the next 4. But most of us are kind of really in this immediate gratification phase that we expected things to happen and turn around much faster than they really can.
One of the things that we've talked about on this show on many times is that when it comes to making it clear what we want and desire. I've heard African Americans across the country, they say, well, Roland, we really shouldn't ask for certain things because, whites will be looking at it. And I said, time out. 95%. He got 95% of the black vote. Black women voted at a higher rate than any other group in America. I said, yes, he's African American. Yes, I said, but he's also the 44th president. My belief is that black folks, like anybody else, have a right to say this is what we want and desire because we also voted too. So what do you make though when people say no, don't do that because that might jeopardize the brother's opportunity?
And I'm so happy he's there.
I've heard this.
Don't you be no rabble rousing now.
I mean, I've heard that from a lot of people.
This is a dynamic that we might have forgotten about what JFK said. He said, ask not what this country can do for you, but what you can do for the country. We have an opportunity. You young folks have an incredible opportunity to be three-dimensional, responsible Americans and keep that man in the White House probably for another 4 years if it was possible. But it's not waiting for him to do a program for them. It's the modicum of America, regardless of who you are, is what you can do for the country.
And that's what got him in there in the first place.
And that act brings the country together.
There's been so much pushback from Congress. It's been such a war in Washington that, I mean, you literally see our president waging war against, or Congress waging war against him. And he's traveling. He's had to go the route of traveling across the country and trying to mobilize support for the things that he's doing. What that means is that African American women, whatever segment you think you're in, we should be mobilizing and give him the pressure that he needs to get things done, to be able to go into Congress and say, look at what your constituents are saying. They agree with me.
Change our perspective because this is our country. You know, it isn't, those people over there. No, we all make up this country and it is all ours and we have to take ownership of that and understand that when we vote, we are putting people in office to represent our voice. Everyone's voice, black, white, whoever, wherever you are. If you're an American citizen, their job is to fight our cause. And we have to hold them accountable. We have to let them know, yes, we put you in office to be our voice. And follow up. Not enough people are really proactive with that and really find out what's going on. Okay, what is this congressman, what is his voting record? What has he stood for? Is it in conflict to what he says he stands for? Or is it in actuality that he is doing what he says that he's doing?
Now, all of you have said that clearly you expect him to be reelected, but obviously, one never knows.
I will do my part.
I got you. But follow me here. But isn't it also important for black folks to demand that Republican candidates speak to our community as well? Because if they happen to be elected, they will also be president, as you said, of the entire country.
So the Republicans have to come to the plate. Haven't quite come to the plate yet because it's in the DNA. They have to make a larger adjustment to speak to us, I believe, because that's the way it's been for generations. The Democrats don't have to make such a adjustment because they have more African American representatives. But the Republicans, you're absolutely right, have to be sensitive enough and compassionate enough to speak to us. But in the meantime, we have to be in that place where they can't do anything else but speak to us with the truth. That's our job.
Final comment.
The job of the young folks.
10 seconds.
I don't see, honestly, the Republicans have put themselves in such a corner with Tea Party ideology and morality that I think that's a really difficult turn for them to make, and I don't know if that's going to happen.
It must be made, though.
It is, but I will tell you this.
The way that it's made is by showing up and them having to respect the fact they're coming out. They're going to vote. And that's the only way. Your vote counts. And if they don't believe it, they're not going to worry about you.
I've made the point very simple. Whoever the nominee is, that person should come on TV One, come on this show, speak to black folks. Because you want to be the president, you talk to us.
You got to come through the chain, baby. You got to come through the chain.
I'm out of time. Luke Gossett Jr., always a pleasure. Lamman Rucker, thank you so very much. Tatyana Ali, Keisha Knight-Pulliam, thanks so much. Tatyana's like, that ain't going to happen. All right, folks.